Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Something Something podcast. My name is Eric Kasloff, and with me, as always, is Larry Sands. How's it going, Larry?
Everything is great. It's odd to say because every time you ask me, everything is good, you know? Um, and as a creative, I think we have to take the good and we have to accept it. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it?
No, because we hear no so much in our
Right,
field that,
right.
you got to take, the quote, the facts of life. You got to take the good, you take the bad, you take
Right.
them both.
Exactly. Exactly. But no, everything is absolutely good. Eric, I'm kind of excited about this episode because this is our music episode.
It is, music is a big part of both of our lives. I mean,
Yeah.
the only bill I have that I'm never upset that hits my bank account is my Spotify. Like last night, I get the notification Spotify was paid. It's like, whew, okay, it's gonna be all right. Spotify was paid.
I love that. I love that. And actually, since we're on this musical episode, we have some big news for Oasis fans.
Oh my God, Larry, I am a huge Oasis fan. I was telling you the story.
Right.
God, I can't believe this. 30 years ago,
That's
I
weird.
remember,
That's so weird.
yeah, getting ready for school and MTV News came on and they talked about this new band coming from England called Oasis.
Wow.
I remember watching some of the stuff and it was like they're being heralded as the closest thing to the Beatles. I was already a Beatles fan then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember after school immediately buying the cassette tape, not even the CD.
I love that.
So
Yeah.
basically, what I'm saying is, I am now selling my kidney for money or any other body organs
Exactly.
just so I can get to England to try to scalp a ticket to the first show. Because if it gets past the first 5 minutes of the first concert, we're going to
Could
be good, which I'm
yeah.
highly doubting. I mean, there's still a year to go. We need
Yeah.
to keep them separated for another
Right.
year.
Right.
But
Right.
Larry, that's old stuff. We need to talk about new stuff.
Yeah.
So you discovered a really amazing musician recently. You were telling me about him. I got to listen to some of his stuff, and it is really, really good, man. Tell everybody
Yes.
about our guest.
Man, I wish, Eric, I wish I could say I discovered Dylan. He popped into my life and subsequently my niece's life because we saw him at a gig and in a small little beautiful wonderful town and um, me and Harper, my niece, we were playing laser tag and music just came on and I was like, "Hey, Harper, let's just go see, right? Let's go see who's playing, and if it's a band." Turns out it was a one guy, and he was doing an acoustic show. He was absolutely amazing, and
Awesome.
I was so taken aback because obviously love music, and I love
Yeah.
acoustic music even more, right? And we were sitting there. It was me, my wife, and my niece Harper, and she just became so enthralled with Dylan Rhys. He's our guest today. He really is almost like new country because I was looking at his website and that I think is what he wants to do is be the Texas country. And trust me when I say this, Eric, there is a Texas country music scene. There really is. So I am super excited to introduce Dylan Rhys to our show.
Hi,
Hey, Dylan,
everybody.
what's up?
Hi. Thank you for having
Hey,
me.
absolutely.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah. Thank you for absolutely coming on.
Of course.
And everything I said is absolutely true. I now that and this was a couple weeks ago when we first saw you, and my niece has been watching YouTube videos and listening to your music, And I just had texted her today, and I was like, "Oh, do you have any questions for Dylan?" And she texted, she goes, "OMG, what? He's gonna be on the show?" so I have a cool little question from her.
All right, let me
That
hear it.
I want to ask you to talk about, because I think this is and I probably should have waited to say it, and because I don't want you to talk about how you write your music, but you're 15 years old.
Yes.
That's wild and
Yeah.
crazy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be wild and crazy, but the strength of your vocals and your talent on the guitar, that's what makes it absolutely amazing, right?
Yes.
Because most 15-year-olds are just trying to figure things out and trying to learn how to drive a car, right?
Yeah, I just got some driving in today, so.
That's
Oh,
good.
okay.
That's good. That's good. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dylan.
Yeah, so I started playing guitar around the age of 9. Um, really just, I gravitated more towards like 90s alternative rock music, stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, it was just, I don't really know how I discovered it because that's not even really what my parents listened to, but just, I was
Wow.
listening. It just came up on YouTube one day and I was like, oh, I like this. Bands like Green Day, Blink 182, Sum 41, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just
And
mentioned my Mount Rushmore.
yeah. And
What?
they,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
and no, I was just going to say, like, that was really what I was into for, I think, about 3 or 4 years. And that's all I would really play until around COVID happened and I started diving into all these new different kinds of music. But what ended up catching my ear the most was what my parents had always listened to, which was Texas country music, like music from the 2000s, like Corey Morrow, Pat Green, and all these newer artists that were coming up, like Parker McCullum, who's a kid from around here, Turnpike Troubadours, stuff like that. And that just kind of paved my way into country music.
Wow.
And,
Now,
From
sorry to cut you off, Larry. As
oh,
someone from the North, New Jersey, what is the difference between Texas country and country music for those of us who don't understand?
well, really, that's a good question. It's kind of a subgenre of country, if that makes sense. Like metal and rock have their own different kind of subgenres. It's like Texas and Oklahoma red dirt country. They kind of stick to a. It's really just music that comes out of that area, because Texas country can be all different kinds of. Like one Texas country song is not going to sound the same as another. It really just it means music that comes out of Texas mostly. But I mean, guys like Corey Morrow, Wade Bowen, Pat Green,
yeah.
stuff like that have paved the way.
Yeah.
And
And
it's that kind of sound.
I think it's more kind of like, to add to what you're saying, Dylan, I think it's more the region. Is everybody that does Texas music obviously is in Texas. And
Yeah.
and Dylan, you would know this more than me, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. But there is, obviously when you go to Nashville, they have the Nashville sound, right?
Yeah.
And it's all kind of formulaic now, right?
It is. Yeah, there's tons of different writers, and they all are kind of looking to chase that mainstream radio sound. Yeah.
Right. And I think Texas country kind of bucks the system in that and everybody is so different when it comes to Texas country, right?
Yeah, that's honestly what I love about it. It's like the I feel like one of the main points of Texas country is to not be radio country.
Right.
And that's I think that's what makes it so great.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. How so were you playing when you discovered like rock alternative? Did you start like playing the rock and stuff on your guitar, or when did you start to really pick up the guitar and play?
So I started gigging. It was after I had really gotten into country music. We were at a restaurant one day, just scrolling through things to do, and we found this open mic competition, and I was like, hey, that that could be pretty fun. I tried it out, and it was months long. I think it was every Tuesday. Was it every Tuesday? Yes, every Tuesday, and I kept competing, kept scoring well. I made it to the semifinals in my age bracket. It was like over 80 participants of just people competing.
Wow.
And then after the semifinals, scored well, made it to the finals, which was both age brackets combined, and ended up winning the whole thing. And the prize was
Wow.
an opening set at the. It was held at this like Texas, this kind of prestigious Texas country venue, the Dosey Doe Big Barn. So I got to open for somebody there.
Wow.
And I got to play an in the round show with the second and third place winners, and it was a great experience. It was really fun, and that's kind of what kickstarted me into wanting to do this and seeing where I take this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
I'd started when I was 13.
Jeez,
Wow.
man.
Man, it just keeps getting mind-blowing and mind-blowing.
Honestly, guys, I didn't know how to tie my own shoes still at 13. I had to use the straps, and you're going out there winning. Wow, man,
yeah.
that is so amazing, dude.
And when you say 13-year-olds, how many 13-year-olds were in your age bracket? And this is not to diminish anything, but like 13-year-old to what?
I'm pretty sure it was like an under 18 or like under, I think it was under 20, under 18 age bracket, and then an over 20 age bracket. And I think there were 2 of us that were 13.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I get that, but when you say under 18, that groups everybody together in this one clump, and then you made it out of that to the top. I mean, that's wild. That's wild.
It was definitely a shock to me, but it was great. It really was great.
Wow. What has the reaction been? Because I know when we saw you, I felt man, just to be able to be around you in your element was something special, and had to come up right when you took a break and talk to you about obviously being on the show. But what has the reaction been since you've been out there from people, whether, because with people that would love to talk about that, but people that you don't know that really discover you for the first time, what's the reaction been like?
The reaction is pretty much almost always positive. I mean, a lot of people like you guys get surprised by my age, but even when I don't say my age, they're like, wow, this kid is. I pride myself on my performance, my presence on stage, and that's always what I get compliments the most on. Is like, you're always energetic on stage. You're fun to watch. You're fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And it's all. I don't really think I've had a bad interaction with anybody. It's been great.
I love it.
Well, what I've noticed from you, the things that I've seen, you're so confident on stage. It's like when you step on there, it's so mature for like what.
Mm-hmm.
Wise beyond your years is the word I want to use. I'm sure you get butterflies before, but it doesn't show at all, man.
I mean, honestly, I've always been comfortable on stage. I enjoy the act of performing.
That's great.
It was just something kind of about me that I noticed from a young age. Even back when I was playing rock music, I'd perform for like people in my neighborhood and stuff like that, because it was what I wanted to do. It was fun.
Wow. I love that. Now, what has the reaction been like from some of your friends? Because obviously you have friends, and then you have acquaintances that I think people want to try to be your friend. But what's that been like for you?
All my friends have been really supportive, and honestly not really surprised, which was kind of funny to me. They were like, yeah, I could see you doing that. And I mean, I have friends come to shows. I mean, they'll shout me out on Instagram, stuff like that. They've all been really supportive, and I haven't shied away to share what I'm doing with them. I'm really grateful for that.
I love that. I love that. Actually, you know, when we were okay, so obviously we met you at your show, and then started to talk to your manager, your managers.
Yes, my managers.
I think this is the one time when people, because they watch E Entertainment, I don't even know if they have like E Entertainment News anymore like they used to, Eric.
No, it's just
Um,
reality shows.
yeah, or even like Entertainment Tonight. But you know, when you hear people, they have their people, right? Actors, musicians, they always have people. They have managers, agents, and I always, knowing what the business is like and how it is. Me and Eric both actually. I find it quite not happy, but I'm tickled and impressed that your mom and your dad are probably not only your biggest fans, but they're there to look out for you in a way a manager would, right?
Yes, I mean that is probably, without them I wouldn't be able to do this. Their
Right.
support and the things they do for me to keep this going. It's just, I mean, I could not say thank you enough. From my dad doing the booking and helping me with all the gear, to my mom, you know, running the promote, like the not the advertisements. What's the word?
Yeah, like
What's the word
sending
I'm
out
looking for?
tapes and doing all the,
Promoter.
but
Yes.
yeah, like PR,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
PR
Just
stuff.
I couldn't ask for any more support, and I'm really grateful for it. And I mean, just like I haven't met anybody more supportive than them, and it's just
Yeah.
they're
I
the
can
reason I'm able
tell.
to keep going.
I can tell it affects you, and it should. And you know, it's kind of like how when we open the show, I think, and I don't know how you feel about this, Dylan, because I know you just are, you know, I hate to say it, but you're just starting out, and I think it's only going to obviously get bigger. But you know, a lot of creative people look at it and go, oh yeah, you know, it's a day. Oh yeah, I got to do this, I got to do that. Um, but I find it very refreshing to be able to talk in a positive way about like what you guys do, our guests, you, and then Eric, and being happy with what we have done and being proud of what we do, because you know, it's a hard business. Being creative is hard
Yes,
anyway, right?
it's kind of a cutthroat. It's kind of a tough business, but
It
It is.
is. It is. And to be 15, I mean, I think your parents, and rightfully so, because they want to look out for your best interest. And
that's another part of it. That's another reason why I'm glad to have them in my corner. It's like with a regular manager, you can look and look, but you'll never find somebody who's as like who's looking out for you as much as your parents are. And
right.
I want to try and have them running and managing me as long as I can, because I know that they only have my best interests at heart.
Well, I can tell you this, that is a great thing to have, because yes, you'll probably have, you know what, and the way that the creative world is, everybody is making something themselves and able to do it themselves. And I think this is part of the new creative way to do it, is, you know, you become your own booking manager, you become your own PR person. Obviously, when you get to a point, you may need to, you know, scale up like your people, but the people right now, it's like you said, those, your mom and dad, I was going to say those people, your mom and dad will always have your best interest. And I think that is a testament to them, right? Because a lot of parents, and maybe rightfully so, look at this business and go, man, it'll just, you know,
Chew you up and spit you out, you know.
thank you. Yeah,
Definitely.
And
yeah,
then also, you know, let's be honest, a lot of the music industry is way worse than the film industry when it comes to
Yeah.
doing that. And what's great is also a lot of times parents won't let kids do the arts because of how unstable it is. And to have your family you know, leading the way with you is such a beautiful thing, and you're really blessed to have that opportunity with them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm forever grateful. I really am.
Yes. Yes. What was okay? Do you remember the first song that you wrote, and then what is the first song that you ever played in front of people?
So the first song I ever played in front of people, I think, was a Turnpike Troubadour. I have their shirt on right now. Actually, it's a
Nice.
Turnpike Troubadour song
Nice.
called 7 and 7. As a country artist was the first song I'd ever played in front of a crowd.
Wow.
And I'm not quite sure what the first song I've written was. I'm thinking between three, but I haven't played them in about 2 years.
Yeah. I know. And you have a brand new song, right?
I do.
That's out. And want to have you play that, and we're gonna talk about that. But
You wake up, it's Monday morning, same old routine, it's still pouring, and life's been getting you down, going on a few months now. And when it's coming down on your heart and there's no end to those dark clouds, and your heart is racing faster than the golf ball, hail falling to the ground, and your whole world is spinning and all you can do is hold on tight. Just always remember, boy, lightning never strikes the same place twice. Well, you head out into foggy weather, drive to work as the rain patters on your windshield while you drive, and you contemplate the days gone by. And when it's raining down on your heart and there's no end to those dark clouds, and your heart is racing faster than the golf ball, hail falling to the ground, and your whole world is spinning and all you can do is hold on tight. Just always remember, boy, lightning never strikes the same place twice. And when it's coming down on your heart and it feels there's no end in sight, and it feels like too much to bear and you just have to quit the fight, and your whole world is spinning and all you can do is hold on tight. Just always remember, boy, lightning never strikes the same place twice.
see some ID because I don't believe you're 15 after hearing that song.
Wow.
Because you
Thank you.
again wrote it with such maturity, and it really reminds me of like a classic 90s Garth Brooks song.
Man,
Well, thank you so much.
That's absolutely amazing. And I actually, you played that at the gig, right? That we were
yes.
at.
I think it was I think that was a couple days after I'd written it. So
Wow, 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 wow. I'm I don't know. I'm at a loss for words almost because that was absolutely amazing.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I wish we had a third host so we can say you're going to Hollywood.
Right. Actually, I mean, would you ever? Oh man, I don't know. Would you ever consider doing American Idol?
I've thought about it. I don't really think so. I just don't think that's the path for me. But I mean, got more power to the people who do it. But
Yeah.
it's just not
Yeah.
something I
I
think
get
need
what
to do.
you're saying because let's be honest, how many? I mean, I watch it because it's fun. It's me and my mom watch it together, but not many. It's like if you win American Idol, you're not going to have a career. It's usually the runners up that do it, but
Yeah.
you're doing it already. You're
Yeah.
doing it on your own and
Mhm.
independently for now. And that's really where the music industry is going because of the way record labels are, the way ticket masters. I mean, I'm not joking. If I want to see Oasis when they come to the States, I might have to sell my kidney on the black market to get
And an arm and a leg.
exactly. Well, that I already have. I can get an arm and a leg, no problem. It's not that hard.
That's true. That's true. Oh, and okay, now comes the time because my niece. Her name is Harper Duarte, and she will be, I believe, 9 years old, and she absolutely, like I said at the top of the show, she is probably like one of your biggest fans, although you didn't know it, but now you know it. And her question, and I love it, is I'm gonna read it to you because how she put it, it's unbelievable. Okay, let me see. Okay, she goes, I said, Dylan's gonna be on the show, and then how does he make the lyrics? So how do you write your songs?
So that's honestly a really great question. And the people, whenever I go write with somebody or I do a co-write, or if I'm just writing about myself, I kind of have a backwards way of writing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to, come up with ideas, come up with melodies. The first thing I do is I just pick up the guitar and I start playing anything. And whatever it sounds like let's say it sounds like rain, it sounds like a sunny day or something like that. That's what I start writing about. And eventually I try and see how can I make it a play on words, how can I make it a metaphor, something like that. Like especially with that song I just played, I was outside, I was looking at the rain, I started playing something that reminded me of rain, and then I was able to turn rain and thunder and lightning into a metaphor, and it was just it all kind of comes from the music first. I'm a very music focused person. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get that. I get that. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know how you like work, Eric, but I think as a writer, I think you could do so many different things, right? As a
Yes.
writer, I know as an editor, I think you've got to find the tone of, because obviously editing our horror film, Eric sent me a great cut of it, an assembled cut. I went in and did some like other cuts to it, fine cuts, but there's a tone, and then I think with music it starts with a tone, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it does. It's like it starts with that general feeling, or like how is this gonna make the first thing they hear in a song is the first note, and how is that gonna make your audience feel?
Ooh.
And then eventually the lyrics come, and once they're already hooked with the music, they start paying attention to the words, and it's just
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great way to put it.
Yeah. How many times do you go back and rewrite a song?
I don't ever really rewrite a song, but I mean, I'll go back, and if I'm like, oh, something else can go there, I can move some stuff around. You know, I'll make small edits, and a song will usually get about like 6 or 7 edits before I'm like, okay, this. I'm ready to start playing this for people.
Wow. 15, and you're already so aware of not only like, I mean, this is crazy to be able to talk to a 15. It blows my mind because I know 15-year-olds and they're not as put together as you.
Some adults who don't have
right
it together as you.
No doubt.
Speaking right here.
Right. And so Eric, so I find out that we can't really play songs, right, from our guests on Spotify.
No.
If it's on Spotify.
Yes.
Or in general.
In general. YouTube we can get around it, but not on Spotify.
Okay. So everybody that is listening to this show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, all of our audio platforms, go ahead and hit the pause button right now. We'll give you a minute. And then want to go over to our something films, right, Eric? Our YouTube?
Yeah.
And the links will probably be in the
Will be in the
description.
description.
Yeah.
Or better yet, give this man some listens. Go listen to on his Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Those listener numbers.
Oh,
Forget all
absolutely.
YouTube. Go listen to his stuff.
Then just put this on pause and then look up Dylan Rhys. Actually, where can we listen to everything?
So this song that I've got coming out soon is gonna be, I think, pretty much on all major streaming platforms. You know, you got Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, I think even like Pandora, stuff like that. Just anywhere you find your music, that's where it's gonna be. So
cool. And then they can just search Dylan Rhys, and I'm gonna bring this little ticker back up. And obviously, you know, everybody can visit your website, dylanrhys.com, for your music, your merch, which you have T-shirts and hats, right?
Yes, I do. Yes,
I
do.
love it.
We just got some new T-shirts in. They're great.
I love it. And you have obviously upcoming shows.
I do. I have a show actually coming up this Friday.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. And it, I mean, pretty much, are you gigging every weekend?
Pretty much, especially since school started. That's the only time I can gig. I think about almost every weekend for the rest of the year. I have something on the books.
I just love that, you know, some kids are having, you know, their football or baseball games on Fridays, but, you know, you're doing grown man stuff and doing gigs. That is so cool. I'll send you the email. There's this documentary on Amazon about this pop punk band who are kids around your age. And the parents were talking about how, you know, when most families are getting up to take their kids to baseball practice, they're coming home from concerts that their kids performed in.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, I still do all that stuff too. That's one of the hard parts is the balance. Wow. I mean, I play baseball too, but that's
what
just
position?
I play in the outfield, but I'm a pitcher mostly.
Oh, okay, I'm a huge sports fan. Baseball's probably my third favorite sport.
Yeah, but I mean, I not just that. I mean, I'm also in my school's orchestra. I play the stand-up bass actually.
Wow.
You know, and I like to be well-rounded. So it's definitely a stretch for time, but I mean, I manage it all and I enjoy doing it all, and it's been great having to learn that balance.
I love it. And at this age, obviously, learning how to balance things, I think, is probably one of the more skillful sets that you can do. That's really cool. So everybody, obviously, if you want to pause this and go type in Dylan Rhys on all your streaming platforms. But if you want to watch Dylan do his new song, switch over to our YouTube right now, and then we'll be right back on our audio platforms. So we'll give you guys a time to pause and hit pause and then go. All right, perfect. Now that we're on YouTube, Dylan, talk to us about your brand new song.
All right, so this song I wrote a while back, I think around back in January, and it took about a lot of edits. I worked with a couple different people on this song to eventually get it to where it is. But this song I wrote coming back from Nashville. We had gone to a songwriting seminar. It was like a weekend thing. And as soon as we got on the plane, we got back to the hotel. And it was, my parents had gone to get some food, and I was just sitting in the hotel because I wanted some time to kind of take in everything I had just learned and put it into a song. And the first thing I was like, I want to write a song about planes. And it sounds really random, but like I said, I like to start with a word. So I started writing something that, it sounds like it's up in the sky, it's like something very calming.
Yeah.
And I took that thought of, like being on a plane, like, okay, what is somebody like doing? What's going on? And it morphed into this idea of like somebody coming back home and seeing someone they haven't seen in a long time, like reuniting. And I just thought that was a really fun idea to go off of, and I eventually made it into more of like a kind of a punchy, like upbeat song. And we went into I was like, this is probably my favorite thing I've ever written. So we went in to the studio a little while after playing it for a couple months. We went to the studio in San Marcos, Texas, called Yellow Dog Studios. The people there were great. It was a great experience. And we went and recorded this song, full production, full band, and it was great. And it should be out September 6th.
Awesome.
Of this year of 2024.
Awesome.
And I'm really excited for it.
I'm
really excited for everybody to hear it.
Yes, I'm excited to hear it. And since we're watching this on YouTube right now, I would be so happy if you could play us the song.
Of course.
All right, I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna hide myself, Eric. And Dylan, take it away.
This song is called Solid Ground. Be on the lookout for it. Well, I'm looking out the window on what looks to be a beautiful day. My body's strapped in tight while I stare down that asphalt straight away. And as we lift on up into that crystal blue sky, I'm afraid the only way I'm coming down is as a nervous ball of fire. I try not to think about the distance from the ground, but what I'm gonna say. Our memories are turbulent, shaking my head like a table tray. But nothing will relieve me more than when we touch back down to land. And I walk through that gate looking out at where you're standing now. Your arms spread wide, my legs can't move. I still feel high up in the clouds, like I never came down. Can't wait to get back to your solid ground. Scribbled on a cocktail napkin a list of all the things I need to do to make up for 6 months of working unfulfilled. I love you. And I hope that this time away doesn't make you think that I'm a changed man. 'Cause I'm still just the same old lovesick fool when I see you standing there, your arms spread wide, my legs can't move. I still feel high up in the clouds, like I never came down. Can't wait to get back to your solid ground. And if I pass out on that runway, it won't compare to how you take my breath away. When I see you standing there, your arms spread wide, my legs can't move. I still feel high up in the clouds, like I never came down. Can't wait to get back to your solid ground. To your solid ground. To your solid ground.
Schmoly. That
Thank
was
you.
absolutely amazing. I love it. I love it. Wow. Wow. And since we're back on our audio platforms, you guys missed like a great live opportunity there. But
Yeah.
and Dylan, your song right now is streaming on all the platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes. What was it like? Because I know, actually on the YouTube version, we talked a little bit about how you worked with like a full band. What was that like for you?
It was a great experience. I mean, it's something I'd never done before. Like you said, I'm mainly an acoustic set. We're trying to maybe look at putting a couple more instruments on stage with me soon. But yeah, for my first time working with a full band, everybody was just great. The producer Casey, I told him what like the artists I'm really into and what I kind of gravitate towards my sound. And going in with that song, I didn't have an idea of what I wanted it to sound like fully, but Casey did, and the band did, and they played their parts perfectly. I mean,
I love it.
I couldn't have imagined it to be any better.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Man, I've got so many questions for you, but I mean, at this point, do you want a record deal? I know this is crazy. I know, it's kind of like a no-brainer, but I think nowadays, artists like is particularly just starting out like you. Do you want a record deal? Do you want to get there fast, or do you want to take your time?
Honestly, I want to take my time, and we've been taking our time. I want to try and work on my stage presence a little more, put together a band, work on my craft, such as like songwriting, things like that. I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
When it's time to and I want to still enjoy being myself, having free time, being a kid mostly. I mean,
right.
And when that time comes, where I need to hunker down, I'll be ready to do it. But right now, I'm slowly building up, and I'm practicing. I'm getting better. That's what I'm working on right now.
Slow and steady, and that's the thing. Obviously, you're young enough and you have the time, but my God, you have the talent.
Yeah, you got the talent in spades, man. Like, I'm not joking when I say that Lightning Strikes Twice song. It sounded like I'm a lot older than you. I'm 25. Despite what my birth certificate says. No, realistically, as a guy who's way older than you, it sounded like something someone my age would write looking back at being a teenager. But you wrote it at, so your maturity as a songwriter is superb, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, wow. And we have guests on a lot who perform. And a lot of times when I say it was great, I'm like, it was okay. But with you, from the bottom of my heart, man, I genuinely mean this. You have got a talent for singing and especially songwriting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do you know Steve Earle?
Steve Earle. The name sounds familiar.
Ask your mom and dad whenever you get a chance. Your guitar playing reminds me of Steve Earle, and I don't know what they'll say, but it reminds me of Steve Earle because I don't necessarily follow like the new kind of Texas music, although there are some. But you remind me, like your guitar playing reminds me of Steve Earle, which is really cool, right? And I think maybe people will pick up on it, maybe not, and maybe that's neither here nor there. But I just thought I'd throw that out there to you. Gosh, Dylan, you're absolutely an amazing person, number one, and even more amazing talent. So I really appreciate you being on the show. I'm gonna throw up.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great opportunity, and I mean, I'm just grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for letting me come on here and share my music and share my story.
And I think that's the perfect way to end this part one of having because I definitely want to have you on as often as possible just to watch your career progress.
Yes.
All of Dylan's social media will be in the links if you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening in over on Anchor. Dylan, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And hey, everybody, like we say each and every week, remember, support our troops.
Okay.